good Friday afternoon, evening, and happy New Year 2024.
And whatever other holidays were happening.
Yeah, I've lost track. In fact, we're still in the middle of holiday season. That can be proven, I think, probably at your company too. People are still out.
Yep. I don't know. I don't deal with people. I don't like people, so I don't know where they are.
How you doing? I haven't talked to you in like over 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We both survived.
Still alive.
We're still here.
Yeah.
Wow. Got your Coke? I didn't bring any water. I have my go-to bottle of. I could drink my bottle of hot sauce. This is the mild, so I'm not going to do that today. Hi, by the way, my name's Daryl.
Do it live. Do it live. Do the bottle.
Let me check the date first.
Not the sip. I'm saying the bottle.
Like chug the bottle? That much?
No. Drink the whole one. I want to see the reaction live.
Okay.
You're really going to drink the whole bottle?
Let's see. I don't have any water in here.
If you survive, it's not spicy enough. This
is mild.
Then it doesn't count.
It's mild. Well, okay, look, and it's got like, let me hide my face there. It's got like stuff at the top. I need to clean it out before I drink it. I'll do it next week, where I have water sitting beside me. Is that okay? All right. Hi, by the way, my name is Darren. This over here, trying to cause damage to me is Victor, and we're the host of a podcast called DevOps Paradox. And on Fridays, when we're around, like not the last 2 weeks, we do this podcast talking about the news of the week. And in this case, we're going to be talking about some Christmas presents that none of us knew that were coming.
Did we get Christmas presents?
Well, okay, so one Christmas present I have right now is I moved my Mac Studio that was in my office into the studio. And that's what I'm actually coming through today. Now, what that also means is I don't have all of my other things completely set up on this machine for doing streaming. It's still set up for office things. So, and of course, I found that out about 3 minutes into the countdown. So I was like, well, we'll do it manually today. Did you get anything cool?
No, nothing special, really.
No?
Just a bit of work, a bit of chilling. That's it.
Yep. Arden, good to see you. Karen, good to see you. Ingen?
Yeah.
And Romans, happy Friday. Hoping the New Year. Yes, I am hoping the New Year will be great. That's a very good, a good wish for right now. So I got the other Mac Studio set up in the office, and I'm just about done setting it up for office things. I'll know for sure on, I think, Tuesday, because that's when my next big wave of normal work comes in, and I'll find out what's missing. I think I have everything now, though.
Find out what's missing as you go, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, here's the one thing. I've been very, how do I say this? I've been very fastidious on making sure I install everything using Brew. If it's not in the Mac App Store, so anything that's in the Mac App Store has been installed via the Mac App Store, and that's fine. I've only got like 5 or 6 programs that are that way. Everything else has come in through Brew. Everything. Except for 2 programs. And I'm trying to figure out how to eliminate those 2 programs.
Which 2?
That way I can export my Brew setup. So when I get another Mac Studio next year, at least I've got a starting point.
You know what I'm switching to?
What?
Instead of Brew, and I'm not talking about desktop apps, right? Kind of like Final Cut Pro or something like that. But for everything, Nix.
I figured you were going to say Nix.
I mean, when I say I'm switching, I used Nix in the past, and then for whatever reason I stopped, and now I'm back, baby. I'm using Nix like crazy.
We need to talk about that.
Yeah.
I got to think about it. And obviously, Roman's listened to at least one of the podcasts over the holidays, to where you talked about AI. That was the tag.
Wait, you forgot the AI.
Yeah, I did quite a few times. Maz, good to see you. It's been a long time. Let's get into it. Because this is the first week back, and I'm still trying to figure out how to push buttons. So we had the short one for Christmas week. Our Christmas week episode, in fact, I was looking at the holidays for next year. I think Christmas actually falls on a Wednesday. No, Tuesday next year. Because we have a leap year this year. No, it is going to be Wednesday. Yeah, because we had Christmas was on Monday this year, or this in 2023. I'm still in 2023.
No, I'm still. My brain is still trying to process that you know which day will be Christmas a year from now.
I plan things way in advance. Like I'm already planning into 2025 for certain things. So anyway, Christmas next year is actually on a Wednesday in 2024. So it'll fall on that. So who knows what we'll actually do for that. But anyway, we had that one. We looked back on our 2023 predictions. We were like most people are. And then, of course, as Romans was alluding to, everything is AI. AI, and more AI.
It's coming, baby.
And I am trying to stay far away from it as I can for as long as possible. I'm letting the other people sort of hurt themselves first, and then I'll just come in and just use it. I don't have the...
Before those other people hurt you.
Yeah. Well, I no longer, at my point in life, I no longer need to be on the bleeding edge of anything. I just, do I enjoy it? Sure. But do I need it? No. So there may be some things I may do, but plus OpenAI has their GPT store opening up next week. What's going to be the first few things that come out of that? A fart app, like what we had with iOS?
Yeah, I mean I think that those are still experimentations rather than anything else. We'll see.
We'll see. Sebastian, good to see you as well. Got quite the crew here today. I'm sort of surprised. Why isn't everybody still on holiday? I don't understand.
Maybe
well, there were some busy elves.
They made a break because of us.
Oh, that's true. There were some busy elves during the holidays. Number one that I did not see coming at all. Cisco bought Isovalent.
I did not expect that.
No, what just happened?
Not at all. I don't know. My lights go crazy. There we go.
Okay.
I'll fix it while you speak.
And you've got you're in the middle of your anyway. You're in your middle of your teleprompter too, I can tell. Anyway.
Yeah.
Isovalent being bought by Cisco. The only reason why this makes any kind of sense at all is because of networking.
Is money.
Well, besides money. Isovalent probably needed some, and Cisco needed a better networking story for Kubernetes. Right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm still not sure what Cisco wants to do with Kubernetes, but yeah, why not?
What does Cisco want with WebEx?
I honestly hope that what they want with WebEx is to kill it.
Well, they bought it and they still try to sell it. I know. But why did they buy WebEx? It was to be in, because remember, Cisco has been a telephony company.
Networking, yeah.
Networking telephony. So it makes complete sense that a company like Isovalent and potentially others that are working in the lower level network space is always going to be a Cisco acquisition target.
Yeah.
Always.
No, from that perspective, it makes perfect sense. I'm still trying to visualize what will be the end user result of that. But yeah, networking company buying networking company, of course.
Yeah. So congratulations. I don't think they had. Yeah, they didn't say anything in the press release, but we'll see how that goes. So congratulations to Liz and everybody at Isovalent. It should be a fun year. And then also during the break, Aqua closed a Series B $60 million. So Anais, if you're watching this, you're buying Victor drinks the next time.
Yes. Exactly. No. Here's the thing. Anais, next time we meet in one of the conferences, probably KubeCon, and there's 10 of us, and when we say, who's expensing it? It's you.
Okay. I got it mostly full screen for that. That's good. So they are now at 325 million raised at a valuation above 1 billion. For
very nice.
Something that's a security scanner. Not bad.
I mean, that wasn't unexpected. I mean, congrats. That's a very good figure for Series B. but it's not unexpected like the previous news, right? Aqua is the company, is a reference company for security or one-off. So, yeah, fully expected. Well done.
Let me catch up on some of the comments here. Ingen was referencing the story we just talked about with Isovalent. A new era for Cisco. I don't know. Because...
Yeah, I mean, Cisco will not enter a new era because of such a small acquisition. Because Isovalent is insignificantly small for Cisco, right? I mean, I'm not trying to say anything negative for Isovalent. Great done, but that's not the type of acquisition that changes the trajectory of whole Cisco.
Yeah. I think this is the key part here. Is this the year of mergers and consolidations?
Every year is a year of mergers and consolidations.
If the financial... Here's my...
2024 was the year that we got VMware bought by... What's the name?
Broadcom.
Broadcom?
Yeah.
You cannot get bigger than that.
No. Here's my prediction. We didn't talk about this on the prediction episode. Unless money opens up again. The IPO market has always been the IPO market. When IPOs were going crazy, that was just not smart. IPOs, right? Those weren't thoughtful IPOs. I think in 2024, unless money gets cheap again, and it'll never become zero again, maybe not never, but probably not in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Money's still going to be hard to come by unless you're, proving something like Aqua's able to do.
Exactly. No, actually now when you say it, that's probably a good point. What we are probably going to see is, so they will continue, we're going to continue seeing companies who go towards IPO, but many companies that normally would go towards IPO are going to be acquired because the distance you can pass before realizing that you cannot go towards IPO is now much shorter, right? So yes, companies are going to start looking into being acquired sooner than later. That's right.
Yeah. Martin, isn't Cisco the new Computer Associates? Well, you could say that of them and Broadcom. I saw another one, a company I used to work for, private equity bought them up, and now they're selling off everything, just like private equity does. So
And
I'm quickly trying to...
That's not Travis you're talking about.
No, it's not Travis. I never worked for Travis.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, here's a good wish for the year. I hope to see more projects graduate CNCF. Crossplane, maybe.
Crossplane will almost certainly graduate this year. I cannot commit to a specific date yet, but yes, it will graduate.
How long have you been in the current level that you're at right now?
Not long. Maybe a year and change, a year and a half.
Okay. But that's...
Something like that.
But that's long. That's long-ish from a... You're incubating now, correct?
Yes.
With Crossplane?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and no, but we are already speaking with CNCF. We, as a community, we have the list of things that needs to be done for us to graduate. We know what needs to be done, and now it's about doing it. Some of those things are directly related with the code and the project itself, but some other things are just more administrative, right? Oh, okay. Oh, this needs to be done. And it will be done. If not for Paris, then most likely for whatever is the date for US KubeCon.
Okay. And as Ingen says here, security is still dragging money in. Security will always drag money in. Always.
Because here's the secret. A person in a company who is presented with a solution cannot say no to it. Because if that person says no, because of some security-related things, and then something happens, that person is finished. You cannot reject, right? You can reject everything else. You can say, I'm not going to go to Kubernetes, right? You're not going to go to cloud. You cannot say, oh, I'm not going to use this security solution that costs only $5 million a year. I cannot do it because I probably don't need it, but what if, right? That's it.
What if?
Exactly.
I want to go ahead and correct myself already. We're off to a really good start for the year. They raised 60 million, which I did say correctly, but this is actually a Series E, not a Series B. So that was their fifth item.
Okay, then that's not such a big figure.
Right, but it is, well, they've raised a total of 325 since they started.
Yeah.
So in this one, that means they raised, what's the math on that? 20%? This was 20% of that.
Yeah.
I'm doing math live. I
Nice.
can usually do it okay, but it's 60 million is for this time in the world. A 60 million Series E is actually a really good number.
It's very hard to get money now, yeah.
I've been watching all the announcements coming through a couple of feeds, and it's like 2 million, 2 million, 2 million, 1 million, 2 million in A rounds. And it's like, whoo, this is not 2020 anymore. This is not 2021 anymore. So anyway, congratulations to Isovalent and to Aqua for having a good holiday season, it appears. We'll see how it plays out the rest of the time. I also saw that KGPT has joined the CNCF.
Yeah.
What? Why? What does it matter?
Why does it matter for CNCF or for Kate's GPT?
Yes. Why does? Yes.
If you're a project, and this is a one-man project, I might be wrong, so somebody correct me, right? Getting into CNCF means that you're going to get, the likelihood of getting more contributions is increasing, a bit of marketing recognition and things like that. So there are good reasons why, right? And nothing really to lose for that type of project, right? Now, if a bigger project that is already commercial and stuff like that, that is open source but not in CNCF would be donated, and there are potential downsides of that. But for something like KGPT, only upsides.
As I say here, as the first artificial intelligence and Kubernetes tool, so you have to put that together. The "and" is important with that word or in that phrase. That has been accepted. There is a responsibility, but equally an incredible opportunity to pave the way for others. Look, here's how I've been listening to some people over the break and reading some people over the break. We've talked about it before. Serverless, go with me here for just a second. Serverless is going to cost you, in the end, if you've gone all in on serverless, it's going to cost you more money than just running a VM that has the thing running all the time.
Debatable, but okay.
Debatable,
Continue.
but again, if you're doing 20 million requests a day, and it's, I can guarantee you that 20 million is going to be cheaper running on a VM versus serverless executions.
Let me put it this way.
More than likely.
If you have a relatively stable traffic, yes.
Correct.
Now, if you
There's-
say, 20 million in the morning and then overnight I have 2 million, then I'm not sure how to do this or that, then... not
Different
necessarily,
conversation.
yes.
Okay, so go with me on that. Yes, so we now have level traffic. More than likely, it's going to be
Yes.
cheaper to that. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Now let me apply that to what's going on with KGPT. Under the hood of KGPT is OpenAI.
Glorified
Right?
URL.
Correct. And do you think that's going to be spiky, or is it going to be level traffic going to OpenAI?
Spiky.
Uh-huh. And what's going to happen when you take a look at the billing at the end of the month?
Yes. I mean, look, it's not that in an organization people are going to be making hundreds of thousands of requests. So, first of all, project does not pay those requests. That's paid by the users, right? And it's not that now in a big organization, 10,000 people will be using 24/7. It's occasional requests. I don't think that that's going to change much the bill in case of KGPT.
In the case of KGPT, yes. But I'm thinking broader. This is where I am old man shaking fist at sky.
Okay.
Of making your project or product AI enabled. You have to do it. Yes.
Yes.
The answer is yes. But you had better understand the consumers of that app. Excuse me, let me rephrase that. The consumers of whatever that app is needs to understand that if you want all the cool AI stuff, you are going to be paying for every one of those cool little AI calls you make.
Of course. So you need to figure out how does that help from the business perspective. So let's say a simple example, right? Let's say that you can reduce the number of human interactions in case of support by 50%, right? Because AI can answer simple questions, right? Before it gets to a person that actually needs to help with something, right? And I'm not even talking about software companies, but in general, right? Now, whatever that company is going to pay for those requests to AI engine, it's most likely going to be lower than those 50% of people answering those questions, right? In that specific case. Now there will be many more where companies are paying more than they're getting back. But there are scenarios where you easily see how that investment is paying off.
I agree. But my concern is, okay, we're able to eliminate headcount. Let's leave the ethics out of it for a few moments. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to be a capitalist businessman right now, and I'm trying to drive as much profit as I can. If I eliminate people and I can replace it with an AI solution, I'm going to. As long as the AI solution has proven that it's actually going to be consistent in the answers it gives.
Yes.
And that last sentence is the key part there. I don't know if we can get consistent answers today. Because if I'm able to get consistent answers, hear me out. I cannot guarantee that my premise is that if you're using generative AI, you're never going to get the same answer twice. Ever.
Not necessarily. So what you're saying is 100% correct when we're talking about using generative AI against the public models, because they're so big and vast. Kind of like there are literally thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions of ways how that answer can be question can be answered, right? If whole internet is part of the model. Now, if you train it, and that's relatively easy today, on your own material, let's say that you're a company and you feed it all the knowledge base that you have. You know, the same books that humans are using now to answer the support questions, right? Not all of them, but the basic ones, the tier 1 questions or tier 2 or whatever, right? Now, if you feed it on your own data, then you don't have such vast data that you can expect many, many different completely unrelated answers, right?
Depends.
Of course.
The answer should be yes, but I'm just thinking about, okay, I'm wearing my Jenkins shirt today, right? How many versions of Jenkins have shipped? At least in the 2 line, 440 as of this week.
Yeah. I mean,
right?
Now what I'm talking is applies, I think, to bigger companies than yours or mine.
Agreed.
But so look at it this way. In every bigger organization, you have different tiers of support, right? So let's say when there is something wrong with my internet at home, right? I call my provider. And I get the lowest level tier. You know, the one that says, did you press this button? Yes, I did. Did you restart the router? Yes, I did. Did you do this? Did you do that? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And then they say, okay, so there is nothing I can do to help you. I need to move this call to a next person who actually knows something about it, right? Now I can replace that tier today, potentially with AI. Not the whole support, right? But right. You know, the one that is literally, you know, I've spoken when my internet at home in my office is concerned. I've spoken with people who literally look at the books and kind of, if I say yes, then, you know, kind of like I can imagine in my head that there is a rule book, and depending on what I answer, that person is asking next question, kind of just follows the choose your own adventure type of book. That's a support I can replace with AI.
I agree with that. And we'll come back to choose your own adventure later. So anyway, congratulations to KHGPT. I don't know why I went down that rabbit hole, but I did, just because we can, right? So good on them. Just realize an OpenAI key is not free. Well, the key is free. The usage of that key is not free.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, something that's not free but interesting is Fly has now introduced their own version of Kubernetes. This will be one to watch, I think, in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Because
They might be, I haven't read it, but I'm guessing that they might be actually releasing version of Kubernetes that they are using themselves after they transition from whatever they're having. So it might be might be interesting to see. It might be special.
that's what I'm thinking is Fly, at its heart, is distributed. And not just distributed within a physical data center, it's distributed across multiple data centers worldwide.
Exactly.
And that is their ground up. Normally, when you're building out building out infrastructure, you first start in a single data center. You might start in a closet in the office building. Then you might go to a data center. Then you might get a second data center. Flip that on its head. That's how Fly is. Now they're bringing in applications on top of that networking. That's going to be interesting to see. By the way, I would not be surprised to see Fly get acquired. We were talking about acquisitions earlier. Again, I'm not starting rumors. I'm not saying I don't know anything. But just like how Akamai bought Linode last year, this would be a perfect marriage because this would bolster that kind of thing within the Akamai family. That's just me talking.
Especially if you buy a company like Fly that is already making money. I don't know how much money they're making, but they're making some money. Most of the acquisitions are companies that only owe money.
Yeah. Okay, let me catch up here. Let's say here. I love the acronym for Fly. Yeah, FKS. Don't say that out loud. There's a double F in there. Yes, it's double Fly for Kubernetes. Yeah, okay. I actually saw people joking about this. Actually, I saw somebody from Fly joking about this, of how they've been referencing it internally. I will not say that because we are a family-friendly show. And thankfully, Victor has listened to me to try to keep it family-friendly for as long as possible.
No, my brain is trying to figure out what I cannot figure out now, and you need to say it.
Their short is FKS.
FKS. Okay. FKs? I don't know.
Anyway, congratulations to Fly for getting this started up. I want to try this out too, just to see how it plays. But they know how to do this.
Yeah.
It's the other people that are in, I'll even say AWS and GCP, they still approach it from the other direction. Here's a service running on our network. Fly has taken it, here's my network, let's put some services on it.
Yeah. And, Fly is a company that probably, they didn't use Kubernetes until recently, but now they switched internally and then they're releasing this, and this is cool, right? But others like AWS, Google, and Azure, they're probably not running themselves anything on Kubernetes. They're creating services on Kubernetes for others to use, but they themselves, I doubt that big three have anything running in Kubernetes of their own.
Why would they?
Huh.
I mean, it would make sense. Anyway, something to play with. There wasn't actually much news beyond those couple acquisitions, or not acquisitions, but the acquisition and the raise. Got a handful of tools. Eraser, cleaning up images from Kubernetes nodes. How many times have you just seen thousands of old images laying around that aren't cleaned up?
Often.
Not thousands, tens. Easily tens, right?
Yeah.
Especially in a multi-tenant. So
until the node is reshuffled with the Kubernetes upgrade every 3 months.
That and 50 cents will get you a drink at Walmart because people aren't updating that often. There actually are a few people that I've seen that they replace all of their nodes every week. Like every weekend, all the nodes are recycled through. But anyway, this is called Eraser. So You install it. Let's see, what was, because I actually looked at it and that was last week when I looked at it. So it's a daemon set. And then it's just going to be doing your cleanups.
Nice.
Okay. That's
I'm
Eraser.
trying to figure out why I know about it, but I haven't used it. How do I know about it? Is it a CNCF project? No.
I don't think so. And I was the same way. It's like, surely, because this isn't new. Like, this has been around for quite a while. Last release was in October, and I went back through all of our old show notes, and I couldn't find it referenced anywhere. It's like, how did we miss this for so long?
No. To be fair, Kubernetes itself is also removing, but not very aggressively, images from nodes.
Right.
Just not very aggressively. I think that this goes towards more aggressive solution. Yes.
Wow. Okay. What Luther says, 90% of our nodes get recycled daily.
Power to you.
Obviously, there is automation going on there to make that happen. That can't be human.
I mean, so imagine a system in which auto scaling of nodes is frequent, right? Because you have peaks and lows and all those things. Already that can get you a decent recycling, right?
That's true.
A node is created, a node is removed.
Correct. So if you got the HPA turned on and the HPA overflows, you get a new node, and you don't know which one's going to scale back.
No
And you don't
guarantee.
care.
You might have a node that exists until the upgrade of the node. That's true, but still.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, Eraser.
Nice.
Opengist. I don't have a problem with using Gist on GitHub, but this is your own self-hostable Gist program.
Okay. I was about to ask, what the heck is Opengist? Okay, now I get it. So it's it's a way to self-host gists.
Correct.
Okay.
Not horrible. Thought it was interesting. And
Cool.
this one's been around for a while too. So, but it looks to be very active. There's lots of yesterdays on here. I like seeing yesterdays. Oh yeah, going back to what we were just talking about. Yes, peaks and lows are the main driver of scaling.
Yeah, exactly. Very cool. Very cool.
Okay, so Opengist. Okay, next one here is Anchor.
Mm-hmm.
So what this is, it says it's a simple CLI tool for storing bookmarks neatly organized in a flattened label hierarchy, blah, blah, blah. So as much as you love the CLI, I do too, now you can have bookmarks, and it's using bubble tea. But
And is
I
it
was like,
from... it's not from Charm, but...
not from Charm. No.
Okay.
But they're using bubble tea. And it's backed with Git as the storage engine.
Yeah, which is also part of one of the tools in the Charm repo. Nice.
Right.
I mean, I don't use bookmarks myself for years now. I feel that, why would I use a bookmark? Because I
What-
just start typing in Chrome and it finds it.
So what you're telling me is if your Chrome history was ever flushed, you'd be in a deep trouble.
No, but it moves from one device to another, right? If
That's
you
what I'm
move to
saying.
another
Correct. But if you were ever to go in and flush or change your settings in Chrome
oh yeah,
to not save,
that would be disaster. That would I'm not doing. No.
that's how I have.
Don't say that. Don't be mean, Darin.
That's how I have my Firefoxes set up. Is on every close, it wipes everything out, cookies and all. Everything just goes away.
You need bookmarks then.
I need bookmarks. Notice I didn't say that for Chrome. Chrome's a different story. But it's interesting because I thought it was okay. The CLI. And it's interesting how you start it up. You just say anchor init. I guess it creates everything you need for that. And you set up if you want to use Git. You don't have to use Git, but you can if you want to. Then you just change the storage type and off you go.
Nice.
You already have to have a repository in the SSH key place, but okay, that's no big deal. Okay, that is Anchor. What is this? Oh, a canary checker. Has this been on your radar anywhere? Does that sound familiar to you?
Not that specific. I was looking at and speaking with somebody about canary something, but
So it's a health check platform. So think of it as Pingdom or not
who's
PagerDuty.
behind it? What's the company? Does it say?
It's here. Let's just go to GitHub because that'll be easier.
Yeah.
It is.
Okay, I know exactly. That's the one I was looking at. True. Now my brain started working. Yeah.
A flank source? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Built-in check types. So if you need to check whatever, that's all there. So I thought it was cool. Okay, so you are
Nice.
aware of it.
Yes, I haven't used it much myself, but I'm aware of its existence.
Okay. So you have
Most of the time, I'm not. I'm kind of surprised that I know a project that you're showing that almost never happens.
Yeah, that's true. But anyway, there's health checks as code. That's what I was going for. So you could just set up your basic checks and have it running.
Nice.
Nothing extreme, right? But it's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, that's Canary Checker. Okay, good. And that was theirs. Yes. Okay. This one, kube-reqsizer, a Kubernetes controller to optimize pod request, a VPA alternative. This sounds scary to me. Now, this has not been touched in a couple of years. Actually, last January. So it's a year. Literally, as we're talking, the last release was this time last year. So why would you do that? I don't know.
I'm guessing easier way to see the utilization than using VPA. You know, VPA I forgot the name. You can use VPA in a dry run mode in a way that you see the utilization without really letting it act on it, or instead of dealing with Prometheus metrics or whatever you normally would do. But I'm guessing that would be the use case for this one as well.
Yeah. Again, this just came through my feed. It looked interesting, so I figured let's drop it on the list. Because that way, when we try to talk about it again in the future, I can look and it's like, oh no, we already talked about it. I don't need to talk about it again. Okay, and then this one was Flow. Okay, I've got two in a row here. Flowpipe. I would recommend, the links will get up tomorrow. They're not going to happen today. Go check out Flowpipe, or just, you can Google Flowpipe. What was their URL? Flowpipe.io. You should take a look at it.
Okay.
There's a link that it's a 2.5, 3-minute video for watching on YouTube. Go watch that video.
Okay. Now I'm curious. What's
Because
the gist?
The gist is, can you see the picture of what is on the screen here?
Yes, I can move it to a bigger screen.
Sort of. Here, let me.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you're on the wrong. I forgot about that. I can't size it in. So basically,
okay.
you create a pipeline. Mm-hmm. They actually use the phrase pipeline in it. So you see the top 9 lines or 8 lines are mod, and you can pull in libraries there. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? And then you have,
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead. And then you have steps in the pipeline, but then you can define outputs from the pipeline and use those outputs in following steps. So if you're wanting just to set up, some sort of workflow management system, and it's a pipeline that's declarative, that has. Okay. I'm going to use the word plugins. They had a different name for it. Module. I think they called them modules. So it looks interesting. It's code, not clicks. Build and deploy DevOps workflows like infrastructure, code in HCL, and deploy from version control, blah, blah, blah. Responds to events, orchestrate your cloud, connect people and tools. That was the big push is on, actually here, let's just go to Flowpipe real quick. It is AGPL, so, okay, don't go build your company on this. But if you're trying to build something yourself, okay. Yes, it's free, and yes, it is technically open source, but AGPL is to me. But it's built for DevOps. Did you watch Brett's stream yesterday?
No. Was it good?
It was good. He echoes a lot of the things that we say about people trying to get into DevOps. So that's still fresh in my head anytime I see DevOps. Anyway, so here's a nice picture of, okay, here's the pipeline, here's the steps that are going to happen, and off you go, right? So looks pretty straightforward. The syntax looks reasonable, nothing really extreme, and off you go. And you can have all the pipelines there. That's great. So that's Flowpipe. Now the next one is similar but very different. And you might find this one interesting. It's called Hatchet. It's at hatchet.run.
Okay.
It's a workflow engine built for application developers. Now I'm going to question that pretty hard. Why? Because to write the workflows, you have to write Go.
Okay. That's not
No.
going to work.
Well,
I mean, I'm a Go person. I like Go, right?
yeah.
But my logic is that for this is a pipeline as well, kind of scripting or something. Workflows.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
workflows. Yeah.
Yeah. We can now debate whether a pipeline should be declarative or using programming language. But if it's a programming language, you need to support different languages because the world does not revolve around Go.
I can't believe that phrase just left your mouth. That the world doesn't revolve around Go.
I mean, Go is a niche language. Right? Everybody, most of the people I communicate with and work with and hang out with are Go developers, but it's still a niche language. Right? I'm pretty sure that if we would do get some kind of statistics or something like that, that how many people use Go versus, let's say, Java or Python or Node.js, that it would be a miserably low figure. And statistics done right, meaning that how many people use this or that, and then you would see that many more people use Go, but on hourly basis, kind of like how many hours do you use Go? 0, 10, right? How many hours do you use Java? And then summarize those hours and get the percentage, and I bet that Go is very low. Just a bit above Rust.
I would say probably a lot above Rust at this point. But anyway, so Hatchet, so we got two workflow engines they're showing here. We have Flowpipe and we got Hatchet. Do you want to define, and they were talking in the chat, it's like, okay, it looks like HCL. To an extent it does. But to me it feels more like a Jenkins pipeline than it does HCL. Just in general. Or even GitHub Actions. Because what was funny about Flowpipe to me is how they referenced the, doggone it, where am I at? That's Flowpipe. How they referenced step dot whatever, right? So the referencing model feels very much like GitHub Actions. Mm-hmm. Anyway, but Hatchet, on the other hand, is interesting. Still brand new. Slack and GitHub is all they have, which is fine. Looking at this, if I wanted to get anything done, I have to do this. Compared to what I saw in Flowpipe, I don't know. I don't know.
Where I can imagine, I can easily see many scenarios where, like say Go in this case, but the same applies for Node.js or this or that. Actually, it's easier to do than YAML, JSON, Groovy, whatever somebody is using, right? But what surprised me over and over and over again, how many projects are not capable to show in a quick start on a homepage example that makes sense. Right? The example that you were showing now, Darin, right? That makes zero sense for that project. It's just what you said, kind of like, why is this better? Right? It should have shown something else.
Okay, well, let me give, because they have trigger workflows, they have monitor events, and you can schedule tasks. But again, taking a look at this task, I'm creating a worker cron, and then I'm running this every minute, or every 5 minutes in this case.
But
Why?
in this example, let's say GitHub Actions would take you the same number of lines, right? A line for the name, line for the
that's
description,
true.
line for timeout. It wouldn't be more complex or less complex somewhere else, right?
Right. Okay. Anyway, that's Hatchet. I'm trying not to do a Hatchet job on Hatchet. Maybe it just doesn't click for me, and that's okay. Because, hey, 2024 is one more year older. Okay, that's Hatchet. Okay, I got a couple AI things. Are you ready for some AI things?
Let's do AI.
Dark visitors.
Oh, I love the name. What is it?
Dark. A list of known AI agents on the internet. So if you're wanting to block your AI agents, you can do that. Just like I saw OpenAI was offering up to $1 million to be able to scan newspaper sites.
Oh, there was that big fiasco. It was, what was it, New York Times or something like
New York
that?
Times, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's coming.
Yeah.
That's coming now as well.
Yep. So you can go through and see a big list of stuff. Like GPT bot is this one, 30% blocked.
Purpose of this to block it.
The purpose of this is to make you aware of what's out there.
Ah, okay.
So if I see, that way I could go into my robots.txt file or whatever I'm doing, and I can reject based on user agents.
But wait, isn't now the business to actually invite them to your business so that you can sue them later?
That's not a bad idea.
Why would you
Robots.txt.
want
Let's,
to pass on the very, very good settlement?
don't know. So in this example, all known AI scrapers or data scrapers are blocked. So you can just say, there's that. You block Anthropic AI. You block for whatever.
I mean, let's face it.
It's a site.
It's
a site.
True. Nice. Now, you know what? I'm curious. Now I need to make screenshots of that and then make another screenshot half a year later to see how many bots actually changed their names. And then they had to update the list, right?
At what point is the AI bot going to rewrite itself to where you don't know who it is?
There you go.
You do a one-shot AI bot, right? You're doing a one-shot user agent.
Completely random name.
Completely random name. Okay, that's dark visitors. And the other tool that I saw that was interesting, I don't know if it's interesting or not, but it's AI related. So allalt. So all images deserve an alt tag. That's what it means. It transforms images into words. Designed to provide a text-based description of images for visually impaired users, it leverages the power of GPT-4V to make visual content accessible in a textual format. So it's just a CLI that you can... It's hosted on SourceHut, which is a truly open source Git hosting service, because people don't want to deal with GitHub, because GitHub isn't open source. Well, let's not get into that, but okay. So that's the reason why it's here. And that also means there's no packages available. So you have to build it yourself. But then you can actually describe images. You have to pass in and give it the OpenAI API key, and then you point it at things. That was cool. It's a good use case.
Nice.
Right? I mean, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they're stating here that descriptions of images for visually impaired users. Look, I could look at some images sometimes and have no idea what it is. So this could be useful even for me. That's not visually impaired.
Yeah. For people
what's
who
going to
don't use Google Photos.
Right. So tell me what's going to happen when you point this at an image that was generated by Midjourney or Stable Diffusion. I mean, it's going to explain something, but what is that something?
I guess
I don't know.
This is mostly for businesses rather than private use, I'm guessing, right?
No, this is private use, what I would think of.
Okay. Because now I'm thinking, right, kind of when I go through my Google, I have my photos in Google Photos, and it knows it's me. It's, it knows it's my daughter. I can search for this or that for my cats, right? That's probably not the information.
No, not this. This would give you the text of what is this image. So maybe what would be interesting is to, okay, you find a picture of your daughter, and you were at a place on vacation, but you don't know where it is. So maybe this would say, oh, actually, you're standing on the northeast corner in Paris that's across the street from Notre Dame.
Exactly.
Right,
I've been
it's-
actually trying that in what's the name? The Google new thingy. Anyways, yes, exactly.
Bard? Bard?
No, not Bard, but the I forgot the name. The one that multimodal that they released like a month ago.
I don't know. Okay, let me get into the chat and then we'll finish this up. I thought this was funny. Is robots text legally enforceable? No. Well, I'm not a lawyer,
Yep.
so whatever. Yeah, this would be interesting. I'm sure you need an uncensored AI. Yeah. Because if you give it
Exactly.
porn, what's going to happen when it's like, sorry, Dave, I can't tell you what that is.
Recommend which one to watch.
Can it also turn a JS-only website into a static one for proper... That would be interesting.
Yeah.
See, this is a use case for AI that I believe could be very useful. Is limiting that. I mean, I already have uBlock origin running most of the time to block a lot of stuff. But man. Okay. And then let's get into all the videos that you had and are getting ready to have. So you did Dagger.
Yeah. Dagger, awesome. I love it.
You did KubeBlocks.
Interesting.
WASM.
Confusing. I'm giving one word interpretation.
One word answers, yes. Confusing was a good
Exactly.
answer. And then you were talking about choosing your own adventure. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. Next
Here we go again.
week, I don't remember the day, sometime next week.
Yes, it is. In fact, January 9th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.
Okay, there you go.
Because this is at Chapter 3, Episode 1. You're doing admission controller policies with,
Yes.
holy cow, Kyverno, OPA, Cloud Custodian, Kubewarden, which I'd never heard of before, or I had and probably forgot, and then validating admission policy, which is, I guess, the root of everything, right?
Yeah, and Kubewarden happens to be the topic of the video Monday after next.
Ah, well, there you go.
I mean, I rarely know what's coming next, but this one is already in the editing phase. It's kind of interesting because what they do is kind of interesting and confusing at the same time, right? Kubewarden allows you to write policies in any language you want, whether you want that or no, open for interpretation. But if you do choose to write your policies in, I don't know, whatever, Node.js, Go, whatever you're using, then then it's compiled to WASM and just runs in your cluster like anything else, right? So
Wait,
it's,
what? That's... Okay, hang on. I could use any language I want. They will compile it into WASM
Yes, and run it in your cluster.
and run it in the cluster.
Yeah.
What's wrong
Kind
with
of, that's
that?
interesting. Nothing.
Is there? There's
Right,
nothing
kind
wrong
of-
with that, right?
Because they have a mechanism, there are certain rules, kind of, basically input output. As long as you follow those, you can write it in anything you want. They don't care because eventually they run WASM in a container, to be honest. So it's not directly WASM outside containers, but they say we don't care, right? You accept input. API, Kubernetes API will send you some information. You need to respond to that. Okay, not okay, and write it in any language you want.
Well, that makes too much sense. Why didn't we do that to begin with instead of creating OPA? Or Rego, sorry. Why
Because
did
WASM was
Rego
not
need to
a-
exist?
Thing. No, there is always Now, I'm not a fan of Rego, so Rego is not. I personally don't like it, but there is always argument to be made that a language specialized for something could be better at that something than more generic languages, right? I'm not now saying that that's a reason good enough to use Rego or no. That's beyond this conversation, but there are cases where specialized languages are better. The question is always, should we learn that special language for this specific task or suffer a bit more with a generic language without having to learn it? That's the question, I think, that is on everybody's mind, or should be.
I go with the latter. Give me a generic language. There has to be a good reason today, in 2024, there has to be a good reason for me to learn a brand new language that does one specific thing and one specific thing only.
Exactly. That's, my beef with Rego, apart from me simply not liking it, but my real beef with Rego is, okay, so you have a number of people in a company, small, that is going to be dedicated, that's what they do. We do policies most of our time. And if you dedicate most of your time to something, learning a language like Rego is not a problem, right? If I'm a dedicated person dedicated to this something, I'm going to learn a language, no problem at all. But that Rego is never going to be used by anybody else but you in that company. That's my beef with it, right? You cannot extend, you cannot enable others to maybe define their own rules and things like that. I mean, you can, but you need to force them to learn Rego. So non-dedicated person whose primary job is not policies, is unlikely to learn Rego.
And then what happens? This is a classic case in a place I was at. One guy picked Groovy.
False.
Oh, yeah. Like my guy picked Groovy to do his thing, and nobody else knew Groovy, and he left. And his stuff was business critical, so somebody had to learn Groovy. That would be the same thing with Rego.
Yeah.
There are use cases for it, but there had better be a good business decision why you're picking that language choice, not just because it's the next thing to check on your CV.
Exactly.
But that's a business problem, not a you problem. The business should have told you, no, don't do that.
And there are, and I might be wrong here, but there are some languages that are easier to pick up and harder. Like I could argue that if your story was done in contained HTC instead of Rego, I would not agree with you, right? Because he left. He was the only one writing Terraform manifests, and now somebody needs to learn HTC. That's an hour. There is nothing to learn there, right? You need to know what are the resources in AWS, Azure, Google, wherever you're managing it, but that's unrelated to HTC. Easy to learn. Rego is not one of those. It's too cryptic to be like that.
Yeah.
You cannot just pick it up and say, I'm using it.
Yeah. Sebastian, be nice. That's all I can say. Just be nice. Okay, and then again, in case for most things, don't foster tribal knowledge. Yes, that's the problem. If you're doing CV-driven career development, then maybe you just need to move on. Become a consultant. That's what you need to do. If you want to do something new and bespoke all the time, become a consultant. Exactly. And just go from one place to another. Okay. We're almost at the top of the hour, and I got to get back into the office. Okay, next week I'm looking at this, January 9th, 4 days. Is that Tuesday? Somebody tell me.
Tuesday,
I think January 9th is Tuesday.
Yes.
So Tuesday, actually Monday you'll have a video out. Tuesday you've got the live stream with Whitney.
Yes.
On emission controller policies. And then Wednesday's the podcast. Thursday, I hope there's nothing. And then we're back next Friday, unless I haven't looked at the calendar yet. But I think I'm around. I know I'm around next Friday. I think you're around. But I haven't looked.
The week after next will be every single day, but not the next one.
Oh, we'll talk about that next week then. Okay.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Is there anything else we need to say? I think we covered. Thanks for showing up on this first Friday in 2024. That's we appreciate that. Much like people hanging out on the week before Christmas, now we're back in the new year, trying to get in the groove, and we'll see how 2024 plays out. AI. It's AI. That's it.
Brilliant.
As long as I can write AI in Java, I'm fine. Which I can, actually.
If you're talking about being consumer of AI, not the one creating new models and stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. It's CURL. You can do CURL requests in Java or any language you want.
We need to create...
I had a conversation with somebody. It was about using Azure OpenAI, which is essentially Azure version of OpenAI. And I don't remember they have examples they have libraries in a couple of languages, and I don't remember that person for which language asked me, kind of like, oh, it's not supported. It's a URL. You know how to send requests in your language. You don't need
HTTP
a
client.
library for that. Exactly, HTTP client. That's it.
Every language that I can think of has some version of HTTP client.
Oh yeah, probably on COBOL.
Yeah, in some way, shape, or form. And you can always exec out and run curl.
Yeah.
I mean, that's life. Anyway, let's wrap this up. We'll be back next week. Thanks for being with us, and we'll talk to you again all the times next week.